So I will continue with the same topic, second part, nanotechnology and environment sustainability. In this topic, we will talk about the role of nanotechnology in agriculture, food and environment. ये नैनो फूड मार्केट इज ऑलरेडी बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स मार्केट है. आज के दिन तो मैं बता भी नहीं सकता आपको कितनी है, ये फिर भी $50 बिलियन के आसपास है. दिस एरिया इज नोन एज एग्री फूड नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी. जैसे जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड फूड्स होते हैं, so the modifying foods with nanotechnology, a new terminology has evolved over the time, atomically modified foods or atomically modified organisms. Because once we say that the use of nanoparticles or nanomaterials in food application, and nanotechnology is basically the science which deals with modification of atoms and molecules in developing various products. So that is why this terminology has been used, atomically modified organism. And these are the application of nanotechnology in agriculture and food. From the field stage, where new pesticides have been developed, which will ensure better agrochemical delivery, which will ensure less pollution, nanopesticides, nanoherbicides, similarly nano agrochemicals. Sensors will be there to monitor soil condition. I talked about that. I have a one DBT project on phosphorus determination in soil. These type of sensors, some of them they have been commercialized also, for nitrogen also, for phosphorus, for potassium also. People are working throughout the world. Even during the food processing industry, for development of or sanitization of equipment, nanoparticles have been used. Nano encapsulation have been done for preserving the flavor and aroma of the product. And packaging films have been developed. High barrier plastics have been developed. I told you UV film, UV based, the small lights and UV based systems are there, sprays are there. And for nutritional level, nano nutraceuticals in another area where lot of work is being done. And definitely drinking water is the most important priority. So various you can say applications are there in agriculture and environment. Specifically, if you talk about some of them, I can summarize as they can be used for molecular treatment of diseases, rapid disease detection, enhancing the ability of the plants to absorb nutrients, means nano urea, nano fertilizer. And recently IFCO has launched, आपको मालूम होगा 1 लीटर की बोतल उन्होंने नैनो यूरिया की लॉन्च की है, जो 40 किलो यूरिया के बराबर इफेक्टिव है. तो इसका मतलब जो यूरिया लीच होके वाटर बॉडीज में मिक्स होके यूट्रॉफिकेशन और एनवायरमेंटल प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर रहा था, जब अमाउंट उसकी कम हो जाएगी और इफेक्टिवनेस बढ़ जाएगी, तो और साथ में इट विल एंश्योर दैट देयर इज लेस एनवायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन आल्सो. At the same time, nanopesticides and nanoherbicides are being developed to increase their efficiency and reducing pollution in the environment. Pesticides की वजह से बहुत तरह की प्रॉब्लम है. We lose large number of people. लोग तो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि जो कैंसर की इंसिडेंसेस बढ़ गई हैं because of these residues which are there in foods. This is a electronic nose. पहले तो ये नोज बताने से पहले मैं आपको बैकग्राउंड बताता हूं, ये कहां से इंस्पिरेशन मिली. यू कैन सी दिस डॉग. अभी आपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर का मोस्ट रिसेंट एक लेक्चर मन की बात सुना होगा, जो पिछले ही संडे को आया था, और प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने उस सेशन में मन की बात में खासकर जो जिक्र किया था, वो जिक्र कुछ आर्मी वाले डॉग्स का किया था. आपको याद होगा, आपने देखा था ना. I will show you. प्राइम मिनिस्टर टॉक्स अबाउट, मन की बात में उन्होंने 2 डॉग्स के बारे में बात किया कि लोकल ब्रीड्स, स्पेसिफिकली उन्होंने जो 2 डॉग्स थे जो आजकल यूज हो रहे हैं, आर्मी वाले स्निफिंग डॉग्स होते हैं, और उन्होंने उन स्निफिंग डॉग्स के बारे में उनको ब्रेवरी अवार्ड भी दिया कि ये जो 2 डॉग्स हैं, इनको देखते हुए हमको इंटरनल जो इंडिजिनस ब्रीड्स हैं उन पे फोकस करना है, जो आने वाले टाइम में वायरस को भी सूंघ के बता देंगे कि ये पेशेंट जो है वायरस पॉजिटिव. और इन दोनों डॉग्स के बारे में बात किया उन्होंने स्पेसिफिकली, और इनको ऑनर भी उस दिन किया गया। ओके, तो दीज आर द टू डॉग्स जिनका जो नाम है सोफिया एंड विदा। ये हमारे आर्मी के मोस्ट डेकोरेटेड डॉग्स हैं, जिन्होंने सबसे ज्यादा ऑपरेशंस में काम किया है कि कभी कहीं पर लोग लगा देते हैं लैंड माइंस, उनको डिटेक्ट करना, एक्सप्लोसिव्स को डिटेक्ट करना, ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग होती है उसको डिटेक्ट करना। बिल्कुल ऐसे ही मैं यहाँ जो डॉग को दिखा रहा हूँ, ये वर्ल्ड का मोस्ट डेकोरेटेड डॉग है, जर्मन शेफर्ड डॉग है आइरिस, और इनको सबसे ज्यादा मेडल्स मिले हैं because dogs have got amazing smelling power. They can smell anything which for which they are trained. Explosives को स्मेल कर लेंगे, ड्रग्स को कर लेंगे, अफीम स्मैक, कोई एयरपोर्ट पे जा रही है, लगेज को सूंघ के बता देंगे इसमें है कि नहीं। इसी तरह किसी ने बॉम्ब इम्प्लांट किया हुआ है वो भी बता देंगे। तो इनको बस स्टैंड पे, रेलवे स्टेशन पे, एयरपोर्ट्स पे, इवन बॉर्डर पे कहीं भी आप इनको यूज कर सकते हैं। कभी भी वीआईपी किसी ने आना होता है तो ये स्नीफर डॉग्स आते हैं स्पेसिफिकली इनके ऑपरेशन के लिए। तो इनसे इंस्पायर होकर यूनाइटेड स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर ने एक जेड नोज टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक नोज बनाया, विच कैन स्मेल बग इन्फेस्टेशन इन प्लांट। जैसे ये हमारा आजकल चल रहा है ना टिड्डी दल, आपने देखा होगा कि ये बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम बन गई है। कहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान से आई हैं ये जितनी भी टिड्डियां हैं, और ये सारे जगह जाके एग्रीकल्चर में लॉसेस कर रही हैं। तो इन्होंने, इनके यहाँ भी ये प्रॉब्लम मेज में खासकर होती है, एंड दे हैव इंस्टॉल्ड दिस जेड नोज टेक्नोलॉजी ऑन द बॉर्डर। जब एक स्टेट से दूसरी स्टेट में मूवमेंट होती है इंसेक्ट्स की, तो ये जो सेंसर बनाए हैं जेड नोज टेक्नोलॉजी या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक नोज, ये स्मेल करके बता देता है कि मूवमेंट कहाँ हो रही है इंसेक्ट्स की। सिमिलरली नाउ दीज टाइप ऑफ जेड नोज टेक्नोलॉजी दे आर यूज्ड इन कंपनीज, फूड इंडस्ट्री यूज कर रही है, एरोमा केमिस्ट्री जहां इन्वॉल्व होती है। जैसे बियर और वाइन एरोमा से बिकती है, टेस्ट से नहीं। चाय का एरोमा होता है, जब चाय खुशबू आती है तो वो उसी के बेस पे बोला जाता है कि ये प्रीमियम टी है कि नहीं। तो दीज टाइप ऑफ सेंसर्स दे हैव सेंसिटिविटी इन पार्ट्स पर ट्रिलियन सेंसिटिविटी एंड दे कैन डिटेक्ट इन 10 सेकंड। और ऐसे जो है नर्व गैस के लिए भी अल्कोहल सेंसर्स भी आ गए हैं, फूड इंडस्ट्री में भी सेंसर्स आ गए हैं जो कि बता देते हैं कि दीज सेंसर्स बेस्ड ऑन दीज मेटल ऑक्साइड नैनो पार्टिकल बेस्ड सेंसर्स होते हैं ये, और ये बता देते हैं कि मीट स्पॉइल हो गया है कि नहीं हो गया, पेस्टिसाइड ज्यादा तो नहीं है किसी एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस में, वो भी बता देते हैं। सिमिलरली इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टंग इज देयर, ये टेस्ट बता देती है। ये प्रोडक्ट है फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज और फूड कंपनीज यूज कर रही हैं, टी इंडस्ट्री में, कॉफी इंडस्ट्री में, चॉकलेट इंडस्ट्री और कोको इंडस्ट्री में यूज हो रहा है, बिटरनेस मेजरमेंट के लिए, बिटरनेस मास्किंग के लिए, शेल्फ लाइफ एस्टिमेशन के लिए, बेस्ट एडिटिव और टेस्ट एजेंट्स को डालने के लिए दे आर यूजिंग, एंड दिस टाइप ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टंग आर देयर। पैकेजिंग में इवन RFID टैग्स आर देयर, जो बॉटल के बाहर से ही कलर चेंज हो जाता है और बता देते हैं कि जूस इनसाइड द कैन इज फिट फॉर कंजप्शन। या फिर जो हमारे मेराइन प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, फिश होते हैं जितने भी, या केकड़े होते हैं जो ये खाते हैं, ये सारे फ्रेश हैं, स्टिल फ्रेश हैं, या कंज्यूम इमीडिएटली या एक्सपायर्ड हैं। जितना कलर अंदर से डार्क होता जाएगा इसका मतलब उनके अंदर लाइफ खत्म हो गई है, उनके अंदर गैस बन गई है बिकॉज ऑफ एक्टिविटी ऑफ बैक्टीरिया, एंड नाउ दे आर नॉट फिट फॉर कंजप्शन, उनकी क्वालिटी डिटोरेट हो चुकी है। तो बेस्ड ऑन दीज सेंसर, ये फ्रेशनेस सेंसर बाहर ही लगे होते हैं, खरीदते टाइम इट कम द consumer gets the state of product at the time of purchase, whether the food inside the can or inside the bottle is fit for consumption or not. ऐसे ही स्मार्ट पैकेजिंग आ गए हैं, नैनो कैल्शियम के पैचेस आ गए हैं जो बॉटल्स में लगा देते हैं, दूध के साथ ही मिक्स हो जाता है नैनो कैल्शियम, और ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस जैसे ओल्ड एज में हो जाता है उनको कैल्शियम की गोली खाने की जरूरत नहीं, दूध ऑलरेडी फोर्टिफाइड है नैनो कैल्शियम से। और स्मार्ट फूड प्रोडक्शन में तो बहुत सारी कंपनीज लाइक क्राफ्ट एंड नेस्ले, दे आर डेवलपिंग टेस्टलेस ड्रिंक्स, क्लियर ड्रिंक्स, जैसा भी आपको कलर चाहिए और जैसा आपको फ्लेवर चाहिए वैसे ही लेटेंट नैनो कैप्सूल्स आर अवेलेबल, वही डालो और ले लो। मतलब द कंसेप्ट ऑफ पर्सनलाइज्ड फूड विल बी कमिंग, कि आपको कैसे कलर का फूड चाहिए, कैसे फ्लेवर का चाहिए, एंड न्यूट्रिएंट्स विल बी आल्सो ऑन डिमांड, न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल। एट द सेम टाइम नैनो साइंस इज हेल्पिंग रिड्यूसिंग एमिशंस। ये जो नैनो फिल्टर्स की बात हो रही है आजकल, तो दिल्ली में टावर्स लगाने की बात हो रही है, पोल्यूशन टावर्स। तो बेस्ड ऑन नैनो मटेरियल ये जो HEPA filters होते हैं, इनमें nano adsorbents को लगा देंगे so that they can absorb the pollutants and protect the people from various kind of smog and other pollution. Nanostructured membranes have to be developed for screening of pesticides, removal of pesticides from water. Nanosensors have been developed for detection of pesticide residues, for detection of heavy metals, for detection of other toxic compounds in water, contamination with uranium or various other parts. This is a problem in some parts of India, like Bathinda is one of them. Similarly, people are developing various nanoscale iron oxide granules to remove arsenic from drinking water. I will show some of the areas where we have worked. This is another area which is important, where nanopesticides, nano sensors and nano fertilizers, they assume significance, क्योंकि ये pesticides and fertilizers जो conventionally which are used, they carry out lot of pollution and at the same time water intensive भी हैं, energy consuming भी हैं, and you know conventional pesticides have lot of problem associated with environmental degradation and health hazard. ये problem toxicity है, and if you look at the global input, 4.5 million tons of pesticide is used every year, and these are containing large number of toxic compounds, but they save about 30% loss of total production which is caused by these locusts जो मैं अभी टिड्डी अटैक बोल रहा था, as well as other plants, insects. तो अगर हमको इनको कंट्रोल करना है तो पेस्टिसाइड तो यूज करनी पड़ेगी, but at the same time they have got environmental degradation effects also. Now these are the some of the problems associated with conventional pesticides: poor dispersion, poor deposition, low bioavailability, slow degradation. Normally these are recalcitrant compounds. More than 70% pesticide flow into environment, and these residues in plant products in process of application, and they cause large number of effects in human health also. I told you they are associated with cancer also. These residues persist in foods, they cause environmental pollution, they cause loss of biodiversity and ecological degradation. And what nanotechnology can do, if we can reduce the size, we can ensure that pesticides are delivered by nano drug delivery or nano delivery system. Then surface area will be more, means they will be small size, surface area will be more, they will be required in small amount, and their target will be modified and they will be more effective. We can control the dispersion, we can control the stability, we can increase the efficiency, we can increase the duration of extension, and residues will not exist, or very small amount of residues are there. So in a way they are good for the environment. People have developed different type of nano capsules, nano pesticides, which have shown improved dispersion and bioactivity, as the pesticide is available on the leaf for much longer time compared to the conventional one. And these droplets, they improve the adhesion of droplets on the surface of the leaves, and if their adhesion is improved, then effect against the insect is more. Different type of nano carriers are used by different researchers. Some are using nano capsules, some are developing nanosphere, while others are developing mycelial based, and some are using suspension based. These type of nano pesticides or nano fertilizers improve the leaf adhesion, deposition rate and duration. When the pesticide will be available for much longer time, it will be effective for much longer time. Low doses are required, less frequent the application will be required. It will increase the food safety and decrease the environmental risk associated with the conventional fertilizers, etc. And here you can see that how nano capsules based one pesticide, abamectin, is available for much longer time, and more adhesion has been observed in case of leaves. So these nanopesticides, there are three main advantages of using controlled release formulation. They will reduce possibility of over and underdosing, much less pesticide will be used, and they will maintain the effective concentration of pesticide for a much longer time. So increased solubility due to slow release and availability for much longer time, they are better as compared to the conventional one. So they save energy, they save water, and pesticide efficiency is increased, and which in turns improve the crop productivity also. These are some of the companies which are making these pesticides pesticide based products. I gave you one example about IFCO also, and we have got one this international funded industrial project which has been funded to us by Adama Ag Limited. It is a Israel based company, and that company has given us 1.25 crores. We are developing different type of nano pesticides for them. We have already developed one prototype and we have submitted that. Since there is a non-disclosure agreement, I can't disclose you, but at the same time another company in India, which is a government of India enterprise, Insecticide India Limited, has also approached us for collaboration. And within few days, because of this COVID, we have not been able to interact with them. We will be in touch with them for another project where we will be developing different nano pesticidal formulations, etc. These are some of the products which are available in market. Syngenta is doing. These are the areas where we are working on pesticide nanocapsule, role of nanomaterials and nanoparticles in sensing and heavy metals, explosives, etc. Similarly, role of nanoparticles in removal of dyes and heavy metals. And definitely we have developed a nano formulation of a anti-parasitic drug, quinaparamine sulfate, which causes uh, lot of losses in equine specifically, or you can say animal farming, where we have developed initially the first this patent, and now we have developed a nano based card based test for detection of this. I will show you some of these. Problem of dyes is there. Every person from an environment background knows that worldwide use of dyes is 7 lakh tons per year, and these dyes contaminate water sources. So we have successfully demonstrated the use of carbon nanotubes for removal of rhodamine B dye. This we have already published, where we have found 65 to 90% removal. Similarly, we have successfully demonstrated the use of multi-vial carbon nanotube for removal of anionic dyes, amido black, and crystal violet also. These all we have published, where we have found encouraging results. Similarly, we have published few research reviews also, where we have focused on different type of nanomaterials, elite nanomaterials, which have role in development of biosensors, etc. And this is our the highest rated review which we have contributed, which has got impact factor of 41.78. And in fact, in last 1.5 year already, the citations have been over 200 for this. This is another area. Explosives, chemical explosives. What are the use of explosives? Mostly explosives are vapor based, and they are being used for military activities, but they are also being used by the terrorist organization. Different type of explosives are there, hydrazine, TNT. So this I am talking about a project which has been funded to us by Defense Research and Development Organization, where we are developing a alternate nano based sensor for detection of explosives, rather than using these costly techniques like HPLC, MS, GC, etc. We have proposed to develop uh, different sensors for heavy metals. This is another part of a DBT sponsored project, where we are developing fluorescent uh, sensors for detection of different type of heavy metals in water, which have been sanctioned to us under river cleaning program of Government of India. We have first prepared a metal organic framework and a reduced graphene oxide based sensor for detection of hydrazine. This is under LSRB project, where we have coated this composite of metal organic framework on a gold electrode using Nafion, and then we have demonstrated a linear detection of hydrazine. This we have already published in Journal of Alloys and Compounds in 2020 itself, this March. These are some of the results which I want to show, where zinc metal organic frameworks and reduced graphene oxide, they have demonstrated that they can act as a electron mediator for oxidation of hydrazine, and it has shown a very low detection limit, and response time was also very less, that is less than 2 seconds, and sensitivity was also very good, that is 0.05389 microamperes per micromoles. So this is another report. Similarly, gadolinium nanorods, gadolinium oxide nanorods have been developed for successful detection of hydrazine. Again, this is part of the project, and we have developed nanorods, and this type of sensor has shown an excellent linear equation with the increasing concentration of hydrazine. Similarly, we have developed zinc oxide nanocones for detection of hydrazine. This also we have published, and hydrazine sensing is one area where we are focusing, and second area which we are focusing is TNT, where we are developing a DNA based sensor. Similarly, we have not only TNT, we started with mononitrotoluene, not tri, and we have developed a silver oxide quantum dot based sensor for detection of MNT. And similarly, for cadmium, also detection of heavy metal, we have developed quantum dot based sensor using tin oxide quantum dots, and it has shown a detection limit of 0.5 ppm and a response time of less than 2 seconds for detection of this, with a higher sensitivity of around 77.5 nanoampere per ppm per centimeter. And similarly, we have also developed zinc oxide quantum dots for sensing of mercury. This we have demonstrated in river water of Ghaggar also, where the sensor was working and the sensor showed a stability up to 1 year. So this we have also published now, and at the same time, it has ensured selective sensing of mercury, that in the presence of other heavy metals, there was a no or negligible response. Similarly, we have developed a ultra-sensitive redox sensing of mercury using nano gold platform. This also we have published in Journal of Molecular Libit. And zirconia nanotubes were used for sensing of arsenic. This we have also demonstrated in our earlier work, which we have done. Now we have switched from carbon nanotube and quantum dots to graphene oxide also, where we have developed a sensor for detection of arsenic using graphene oxide nanosheets, which we have developed, and here also linear response have been found. This is the most recent area we are targeting, where we are use quantum dots, which are fluorescent nanoparticles or semiconducting nanoparticles. We are making a composite with metal organic framework, so they release fluorescence once in the presence. And we are also using DNA zymes, that is those DNA sequence which initially act as quenching the light of quantum dots, and these DNA sequences are specific to either explosive or heavy metals to be targeted, and in the presence of the heavy metals or explosive, this DNA sequence is broken up, and as a result quantum dots are released, and the nitrocellulose membrane where we have coated, it shows a color. So you can, based on that nitrocellulose membrane, if you dip in water and if there is arsenic or if there is a explosive thing, we can detect. If vapors of explosives are also there, then we can detect whether explosive is there or not. So in fact, this is a strategy which I don't want to talk here, but we use specific organic ligands. We use specific salts of terbium and urapa, which already have fluorescence. But when we bind with DNA zyme, the fluorescence is quenched. And when this fluorescence is quenched, in the presence of heavy metal or explosive, it will bind to the DNA region, break this sequence, and fluorescence is released again. So it emits light. So it gives a fluorescent color. And this strategy we are using in case of heavy metals, in explosives, even in case of phosphorus sensor, we are using a specific adsorbents which can adsorb phosphorus in the presence in the soil. Only we have to mix the phosphorus with water, centrifuge it, and once we start with the sample, we can detect phosphorus concentration in the soil. It is a point of care device. Point of care means you can go directly to the field. This is one of the kit we have developed for a parasite, Trypanosoma evensi, which causes infection in animals, specifically equines, घोड़ों में होती है ये, और उनकी हाइंड लिम्स खराब हो जाती है. They are gaming animals या मिलिट्री में यूज होते हैं. But this parasite which is transmitted through a stomox or tabinus fly, tabinus और stomox वो बड़ी वाली मक्खी होती हैं, इसीलिए घोड़ों के ऊपर तेल लगा के रखते हैं ताकि उसके ऊपर वो बैठे ना. तो we have developed, पहले क्या करते थे, ब्लड का सैंपल आते थे, they used to carry out analysis using PCR or immuno-based method in lab. Now with the help of a industrial sponsored project which we completed with DST, Advanced Micro Devices, एक हमारे पार्टनर है अम्बाला में, we have developed this kit, जिस किट के बेस पे हम फील्ड में ही जाके ब्लड सैंपल से डायरेक्टली डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि whether trypanosoma is there, and this will enable faster medical intervention, means drug दे दी जाएगी और उससे ट्रिपेनोसोमा क्योर हो जाएगा। और ये जो प्रोडक्ट है ये हमने डीएसटी नेशनल हब को सबमिट कर दिया अपॉन कंप्लीशन ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट व्हिच वाज फंडेड टू अस अंडर इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम ऑफ डीएसटी। और मजेदार बात ये है कि जो ड्रग नॉर्मली दी जाती है ट्रिपेनोसोमा के लिए उसका पेटेंट भी हमारे पास है, बिकॉज दैट नैनो ड्रग फॉर्मुलेशन वी डेवलप अंडर डीएसटी नैनो मिशन प्रोजेक्ट फंडेड टू अस बाय नैनो मिशन, और उसका पेटेंट भी है। वी हैव पब्लिश्ड इन नैनो मेडिसिन आल्सो व्हिच इज अ वेरी प्रेस्टिजियस जर्नल, एंड we are contributing in agriculture. I told you that we have a project from Adama Agri Limited Israel जिसमें हम पहला प्रोटोटाइप डेवलप कर चुके हैं। We still have many projects, 7 projects right now going in our lab. My group is very good. We have one more faculty member, Dr. Sandeep Kumar, and the entire research group comprising of around 14 students who are working with us, both of us. They are focusing on development of sensors for water and explosive management. This is the area where right now 10 PhD scholars, they are pursuing their PhD with me. And these students in the last 3.5 to 5 years, they have generated a wealth of publication. 130 papers have been published. I have not included 19 and 20 now, but in 2015 to 18, 305 impact points have been cumulated impact factor has been generated from top journals where we have published our paper. 19 and 20, we have already published around 30 papers which has to be added to this list. So I have talked a lot about nanotechnology, but nothing is perfect in the world. जो लोग बात कर रहे थे, क्वेश्चंस रेज कर रहे थे कि नैनो मटेरियल सब जगह यूज होगा तो टॉक्सिसिटी भी होगी, मैंने आपको बोला यस, safety and toxicology is important aspect. You people from environmental science have to do it. डिफेंस में बहुत कुछ काम हो रहा है, जो है बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट से लेके एवरीथिंग इज देयर, वो तो मैं आपको बता ही नहीं सकता, बिकॉज पीपल आर फ्रॉम सिविल इंजीनियरिंग। ऐसे सेंसर्स बन गए हैं ब्रिजेस के लिए जो इवन क्रैक्स को भी डिटरमाइन कर देते हैं, नैनो सेंसर्स which even identify the cracks and ensure better maintenance. So nothing is perfect in the world. अगर टेक्नोलॉजी इसी तरह चेंज होती रहेगी तो इट विल बी डिसरप्टिव इन वर्क प्लेस। ऑलरेडी डिसरप्शन हो गया है, यू हैव विटनेस ड्यूरिंग कोविड। जो अमीर हैं वो अमीर हो गए हैं, गरीब गरीब हो गए हैं। डिसरप्शन ऐसा हुआ कि टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री ने अपॉर्चुनिटी को इतनी बढ़िया तरीके से लिया कि शर्ट नहीं बिक रही, पैंट नहीं बिक रही, ट्राउजर नहीं बिक रहे, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, पीपी किट बनानी शुरू कर दी। एंड टुडे इंडिया इज सेल्फ सफिशिएंट इन पीपी किट। रोज 7.5 लाख से लेके 10 लाख पीपी किट बन रही हैं, 50 लाख किट्स जो हैं हम एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। सारी की सारी डायग्नोस्टिक किट इंडिया में बन रही है, एक भी किट बाहर से नहीं आ रही। हम ऑलरेडी 11 से 12 लाख सैंपल्स रोज कर रहे हैं और 5 करोड़ से ज्यादा सैंपलिंग कर चुके हैं। जिस कंट्री में पहले दिन एक लैब थी और 40 सैंपल हुए थे कोविड के, उस कंट्री में आज के दिन 1800 लैब्स हैं और डेली 12 लाख सैंपल से भी ज्यादा हो रहे हैं। ऐसा नहीं है केस बढ़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि सैंपलिंग ज्यादा हो रही है तो केस बढ़ रहे हैं। किसी को डरने की जरूरत नहीं है। कोविड का मोर्टेलिटी रेट बहुत कम है। कोविड एक डिसरप्शन थी, कोविड जो आया है वो एक डिसरप्शन है वर्क प्लेस में। ये इसमें चाइना वुहान इंस्टीट्यूट का क्या रोल है, इसमें बिल गेट फाउंडेशन का क्या रोल है, एस्ट्राजेनिका को कैसे पता था कि ये आएगा और उन्होंने इंडिया में और चाइना में 2 ही महीने पहले पेटेंट ले लिया था अपने इस प्रोडक्ट का और उन्होंने अप्लाई कर दिया था। एस्ट्राजेनिका को कैसे पता है कि उन्हीं की वैक्सीन शायद अप्रूव होगी, और उन्होंने 30 मिलियन डोजेज तो वर्ल्ड की कंपनीज ने बुक कर दी हैं, कंट्रीज ने बुक कर दिया, अमीर नेशन ने। जबकि आपको मालूम है कि वैक्सीन आ भी जाए तो इंडिया में कम से कम 3 साल लगेंगे सारी पॉपुलेशन को वैक्सीनेट करने में। तब तक तो हो सकता है वायरस खत्म ही हो जाए। वायरस परसिस्ट नहीं होता क्योंकि आरएनए वायरस है, म्यूटेट करता रहता है। इसी तरह यहाँ पर भी नैनो मटेरियल्स डिसरप्टिव है। टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी फास्ट चेंज हो रही है, कैन वी अफोर्ड टू बाय द टेक्नोलॉजी फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड डेली? नो। ऑयल, डायमंड, गोल्ड जिसको आप बोलते हो कि ये है, दे में बिकम वर्थलेस, क्योंकि मैं तो ऐसी चीजों की बात कर रहा हूं जिनका वर्थ होगा। अगर नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी एटॉमिक वेपन्स में आ गई तो ये भी डिसरप्टिव हो जाएंगी। अब तो लोग है ना सुपरसोनिक नहीं, हाइपरसोनिक मिसाइल्स की बात करने लग गए हैं। There are health and safety issue because the size of nanoparticle is so small, just like virus, they can be inhaled, swallowed and penetrate through the skin. तो हमको सेफ्टी और टॉक्सिकोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट को स्टडी करना है, और ये स्टडी किसने करना है? आप लोगों ने करना है, एनवायरमेंटल साइंटिस्ट ने। जैसे देयर आर सर्टेन सोर्सेज ऑफ कंफ्यूजन अबाउट नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी।
सर मैं प्रोफेसर एम.एल. अग्रवाल बोल रहा हूँ।
यस सर।
सर एक्चुअली करीब 35 मिनट्स एक्स्ट्रा हो गए हैं, तो क्या कैन वी कंक्लूड नाउ? योर लेक्चर इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एंड
I think I am going to complete within 2 minutes, only 2-3 slides. These are the last slides.
Right, sir. So nice of you.
So what have been seen, some of the movies, they have become a reality, because today science fiction is often tomorrow's science fact. Anything is possible. In the last 18 years, we have come a long way. The defense, where the race for developing defense weapons is there, and nanotechnology like MEMS, NEMS, and nanostructure tubes, carbon nanotubes, and these will basically help in development of new missiles, but they will start a new arms race throughout the world. There are opportunities in solar cells sector where carbon nanotubes and graphenes, they will be used for nano solar cells. Opportunities in space exploration, even space elevator is talked about. Opportunities in drinking water, you can see IIT Chennai students have developed a filter using silver nano cartridge, and they are distributing free to the 5 villages where which they have adopted. So this is how opportunities will be there, but people will definitely use technology towards wrong things like human enhancement. I want to make a superhuman. It is just like playing with God, because today science fiction is often tomorrow's science fact. Many things may become possible, and this may lead to certain problems like the brain cell enhancer. People say that there will be chip installed in brain and you will become intelligent. Before going to exam, you will transfer all the material to your chip and then you will vomit it out on the exam. Cosmo boots will be there, cosmetic robots inside the skin, which will ensure that every time your makeup will be perfect. In the end, benefits and risk have to be evaluated before adopting the technology. What you want, whether trillions of dollars of abundance by selling the technology, or a vicious scramble to own everything. What you want, rapid invention of wondrous product, or weapon development fast enough to destabilize any arms race. The choice is yours, but the most important part is that you have to strike a balance between promoting a technology and regulating its risk. If you look at the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement, our Prime Minister has said that impact of science will be most when scientists will keep the principles of 5 E's, that is economy, environment, energy, empathy, and equity. So there is a balance. That is 3 of these 5, environment, energy, and empathy, they are distinct social consideration. And in the end, if you talk about what is the future of nanotechnology, it is an enabling technology that will change the nature of almost every human-made object in the next century. We are going down very fast because of these quantum physics, that maybe 5 years down the line, I will be delivering a talk on pico technology rather than nanotechnology. But this is not a normal industrial revolution. It is a molecular manufacturing revolution which is going this way very fast. If we put all previous industrial revolution in a short span of time, then it is equivalent to nanotechnology. Name is nano is small, but small is really very big. Even science is shaken by nanotechnology, specifically the electronic industry, which is behaving in such a bizarre manner due to these nano fabrication technique that every day new product is outdated. Thank you very much for your patience and listening to me. And now, if there are any questions, you can ask these questions. I think you can moderate yourself.
Yes.
Renu will be there.
Yeah. Thank you so
or
much.
Somveer.
Yeah.
Somveer, you can moderate.
Yes, sir. Dr. Somveer will moderate the question.
Sir, basically,
This is our center at Guru Jambheshwar University, Bio and Nanotechnology Center, where I am been working.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, this is very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your large, elaborative, as well as enlightening and stimulating talk. Means whatever proverbs we can use for this lecture, all are still insufficient to represent your lecture.
Somveer, my timing was 3 to 5, and I have tried to
Yes,
complete.
yes.
Yeah, up to 5. Yeah.
It's all perfect, sir. And means you have covered all the basic of the technology to the higher application part, environmental applications, and cover everything with this both the presentations. And your presentation reflect this whole world of this nanotechnology in this single presentation. So thank you so much, sir. And maximum of the questions that I can see from this chat box are related to your feedbacks. They are saying that this presentation is very much informative and very eye-opening presentation.
Few people are asking about the ill effects of nanoparticles.
That has already,
I told them that these nano silver, nano gold, titanium, and zinc oxide nanoparticles, they are safe. They are not carcinogenic at all. Few people are asking. I am seeing them. They have been given GRAS status by FDA as well as other regulatory agency. GRAS status means generally recognized as safe. So there is no problem. In fact, if you talk about cosmetic products, Nidhi has asked this question. The many of these cheap cosmetic brands which are available in market contain large number of toxic compounds, toxic dyes, and they are not regulated at all. But these nano products are all strictly regulated, and there is no side effect. You can use them. They are not carcinogenic at the level in which the nanoparticle is permissible in this product.
sir, one or two students, they participants, they ask about whether these nanosensors can detect the sign of disasters and radiations that are released from these mobile towers.
I think there is no sensor which has been developed for mobile radiation, but people are developing different type of sensors for other harmful radiation, and even in case of chemical warfare. So DRDO has got a special unit which is giving, even they are funding projects for development and for detection of radiation, although there is no sensor available for detection of radiation, because radiations which are caused by these mobile towers you can easily measure with the base on the basis of radiation sensors, radiation meters which are there, and they are very cheap. So mostly those type of radiations which are difficult to access or sensors are not available, there only you need to develop nano sensors. Otherwise, these radiation meter for mobile towers, they cost around 2,500 to 3,000. So there is no need to develop a nano sensor, because already these type of cheap technologies are available. Actually, we develop sensors where they don't exist, or if they exist, they are very costly. So I think there is no need to detect them, no need for nano sensors, because they are very good. You know, people are using a small type of, somewhere you yourself must have used this radiation meter when you were in GJU. We do have here, and these radiation meters can detect the radiation level of mobile towers.
Thank you, sir. Sir, many of the students they are participant in this group with this background of civil engineering. So they just want to ask whether we can use this nanotechnology on mixing these nanoparticles in concrete to find out the structural problems associated with the civil works.
People are using nanomaterials in concrete mixing specifically for harnessing the energy. You know, there are few roads which have been developed which actually during the rush hours they generate electricity. So actually people are working on this aspect, but otherwise in concrete there are no example which have been visible to me where people are using to enhance the efficiency. Otherwise, I told you sensors are there which have been developed for bridges which detect cracks and which detect damage caused due to earthquakes, etc. People are trying to develop for civil engineering part. I am trying to say that there will be in a coming days, there will be a control observatory in one part of the country where the entire agriculture data will be circulated, because sensors will be installed throughout our country as we go down the line 5 to 6 years, and these sensors will give a real-time monitoring of rainfall, humidity level, and temperature level to the control observatory, and we can have even sensor installed to make us aware the location of the insect or the locust attack. We can predict and we can forecast that in which district they will attack, and we can take precautions on that. People are also developing different type of nano delivery systems for controlling these insects. So these type of delivery systems are being worked out.
Sir, you have talked about some of the nanostructure. So, can it be possible to structured some nanoscale at nanoscale just to cure cancer also?
Yes, people are developing different type of nano drug delivery systems for treatment of cancer. You know, the main part is we have identified many drugs which are used in chemotherapy. But the most important aspect is that chemotherapy, the drugs are very toxic and they cause lot of damage to other organs, normal cells, not just cancer cells. So by ensuring nano drug delivery only to the cancer cell, and that too in a small amount, it will lead to very low or negligible side effect to the normal cell. So in a way, we can say that we will improve the effectiveness of chemotherapy using nano drug delivery system and at the same time reduce the side effects. So this is an area targeted by large number of labs throughout the world. In fact, maximum work on nano drug delivery is being focused towards cancer.
Sir, another question. Can we take this?
Yeah.
Sir, one of the participants, they asked about whether these towers, mobile towers, means the radiations which are generated from these mobile towers, can we reduce this generation of radiations by using some nanoparticles?
I think if we will reduce this radiation, then definitely it will mask the networking ability also. And since Dr. Garg has already taken one lecture yesterday, so he always talks about the effect of radiation. You know, from low intensity to high intensity, I always doubt that how these radiations are harmful. Because when we go from the low intensity to high intensity radiation, these are not in the high intensity radiation, high energy radiation. So how can they be more harmful than the other radiations which are already there? So there is a doubt. I think there lot has to be done. This type of damage has been caused because of urbanization also. There are large number of ecological factors also which are contributing. People say that there are lot of damages because of radiation to health of human beings. Some say that they suffer from uh, uh, headache. Some say nausea is their feeling, but I have not come across any case where it has been proved that they have been harmful to the extent that these radiations have caused cancer. So lot of work has to be done, but if masking is done to prevent radiation, then definitely this radiation flow will be affected and will definitely impact the bandwidth of the network.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Means almost we have already covered all of the questions from the participants. Now I would like to invite Dr. to propose the vote of thanks.
First of all, my heartiest thanks to you, sir, for sparing your valuable time from busy schedule and being a part of this faculty development program. It was really so informative and interesting session, or I will say it was a mesmerizing session on nanotechnology and connecting it to the environmental sustainability. You have provided a deep insight into potential and applications of nanotechnology, nicely explained the role of nanotechnology in diverse fields from environment to medicine, agriculture, cosmetics, fashion industry, biosensors, nanopesticides, and the research based on nanomaterials and many more. I hope your talk has definitely made all of us to think about nanotechnology from a new perspective. And once again, I thank you for your valuable time and making this session very interesting. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Renuka. Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. Thank you, Dr. Somveer, and all the participants for giving me sufficient time to interact with you. And it was definitely, I enjoyed this movement and hope in the future also